Hello, my friends. It's Nanny. And although I look a little dressed up today is really an at-home day. It's a little bit of self-maintenance, which I'll go through with you. In this video, you're going to see a wonderful recipe for an easy, quick, delicious breakfast. And you'll see a little mini haul that I had yesterday when I had to go out to do some food shop. I had to meet my son Billy to transfer some succulents to his wife. And I just happened to be in front of Ross at the time and had to go in. And also a little bit of self-maintenance for the cottage. I've been slipping up on my housekeeping duties here because we've had such a wonderful full week. And so if you think that you would be interested in this and seeing Nanny just hanging around the cottage on a very homey day, join us. I'm coming to you from my tiny little cottage kitchen this morning, and today is going to be somewhat of a me day, a maintenance day, not only for me, but for this poor little cottage. Moosey and I have been gallivanting around for a week now, visiting family and having the time of our lives. But it's time for a little rest. So I'm starting the day off with a great, easy, delicious breakfast that I got this recipe from Debbie, my daughter, and she and Barry have had it a couple of times. But the first time they had it was in their summer trip up the coast, and I believe it was either Oregon or Washington, where one of the B&Bs that they stayed in, the woman served this for breakfast, and they loved it and copied it. So before we begin the baking portion of the day, I want to share a few things with you, and I might as well do it here. First of all, the other day, I did put some of that castor oil and coconut oil cream. It has the consistency of Vaseline. And I put it in my hair. I think I left it overnight or all day long. It was quite shiny, by the way, and I'm hoping that it's going to help my split ends. Now, I haven't trimmed my hair yet, but I might do that. Maybe take about that much off. I still want to be able to do some updos. But let me come around and show you what this is. Now, I slugged, as they say, my hair with this castor oil hair and scalp conditioner. And it evidently has some coconut oil in it too. But would you believe, I think I got this at one of those dollar stores. Now, it wasn't the 99-cent, but most of them have it. I think it was Dollar Tree. So obviously, it's not expensive, but then again, you don't have to spend a lot of money for castor oil or coconut oil. But this one is castor oil, hair and scalp conditioner, and I have it in my hair again now. I put it mostly on the ends up here, and I'm going to leave it like this. Maybe I'll take a shower later tonight or this morning. I don't really plan to go anywhere, so my poor cottage and me, we need some me time, including my cottage. So if you want to look for this stuff and you think your hair might need some, I'm not putting that spray in there anymore. I think that might have started to do the splits. That's it for now. I'm gonna cook for Moosey, and that's what you're gonna see next. So are you ready for your delicious breakfast? You're gonna wanna make this. First thing we do is we spray, and I'm gonna put my little eggs in here. We're gonna spray the tin. Now I picked my biggest one that I could. I have some that are smaller than this, but I'm going to liberally spray the pan with Pam right now. Okay, make sure I get the sides. Now, we take a slice of ham, and you can put any kind of ham you want. I would have preferred thicker slices, but the mix that I bought, they were a little lighter. I could put 2 in just to make it, but you stick it in the pan And you're gonna have your sides overlapping. Now see, already it's starting to break a little bit around the sides, but that's what it's gonna look like when you get it in your pan. So I'm actually gonna do 3. Moose will have 2. I'm only going to have 1. See, I do have some little holes in here. Preferably, I would have used maybe a heavier ham. So now the ingredients are jar of basil. You could put fresh basil leaves, but this will give it a stronger pop of basil. I'm going to put about a teaspoon in each one. Now, if I were to put cheese in here, I would just use some shredded sharp or whatever kind of shred you like. Now, I'm a big fan of Swiss and also mozzarella, but I'm just going to put a little bit in the bottom, only because Moosey loves his cheese and it adds something extra. Debbie didn't do this on hers. And as I told you, this recipe was from Debbie, from a B&B that she was in on her vacation this summer. All right, now so far, so good. Now that's it. Now all I'm gonna do is crack the egg. And I'm gonna leave, I have a little dish here to put, I'll get my comb out of there. I was gonna show you that's what I'm doing. I'm not brushing my hair anymore. I'm combing it because I don't want any more split ends. So I'm gonna be careful here. I think I'm going to put, now some of the yolk did drain out there. And I have a little extra left, and I'm going to save that because Debbie said don't use the whole white of the egg. I'm sorry, I meant white. I like a lot. Now I would do about a teaspoon of the basil from a jar, and you put it maybe on the side. I'll do a little less for Moosey. And believe it or not, that is it. Now you could do this in 5 minutes. I took longer because I'm gabbing away here, but this should come out nice and firm. I don't want to tip it too much because the egg might move around. Now I'm going to put it in the oven, and that's it. 400 degrees and about 13 minutes, or until you feel it's done. Now this should come out hard. Let's hope. See you in 13 minutes, and I will tell Moosey to get ready and get his second cup of coffee. 5 minutes to go. So we have 5 minutes. For those of you who did not see our DIY video yesterday for the pumpkin that Cindy and I decorated with succulents, here it is. And I did this 2 days ago, and I've been spritzing some water on the succulents, and succulents will suck water into their leaves and don't have really any roots. So even though I've used a glue gun, I'm hoping that this will keep these succulents alive for quite a while. It's an experiment, but we were so pleased and had so much fun doing this. Then yesterday, I talked with Bonnie, Billy's wife, on the phone up in Idaho. Billy is down here picking up a lot of supplies. They are harvesting in the middle of October 3 tons of red grapes from their property. I helped plant one whole row a couple of years ago when we were up there. And it's a big process, and they're gonna make their own wine. And he had a lot of things to pick up down here, big barrels and equipment. He already has made wine several years ago, not that much, but the grapes just look gorgeous. But I digress. So Bonnie wanted to make one of these pumpkins with yuccas, but up in Idaho, they don't have succulents. And I meant to say that to a lot of you Easterners and people who don't have succulents. You know, you can make that pumpkin decoration with any kinds of flowers that you might have, things that might, or artificial, if you can find artificial flowers. Of course, the succulents, I think, although it was an experiment, I think they're gonna last for a while, quite a while, because I'm spraying them with water every couple of days, and succulents suck the water into their leaves, and they don't have roots. The roots are little tiny things. So I'm hoping that the water that they're taking into their leaves will keep them alive for quite a while, even though I use the glue gun. So, so that's the story. Oh no, that's not the story. I'm not yet. I haven't told you the punchline. So Bonnie, as you know, we had dinner with our grandkids and Bill. Billy was down from Idaho, and I was telling him about the project, and he said, and Bonnie wants to do this. So I said, well, you know, I do have a bunch of succulents left over. Would you like me to send these up? And he said, oh, she'd love that because she can't get any up there. So I went around yesterday morning very early. Billy and I had a plan that he was going to go down to his son's house and see those grandkids, and then pick up some of these things on the way back up. He had to stop in San Francisco, and he had a trailer. He had a trailer that he was pulling to put all these barrels and equipment that he was picking up down here. So he was leaving, actually, he left this morning to go back. So yesterday morning, very early, Billy and I made a plan that we met. I had to go to Walmart to do some food shopping, and I had to return my maternity bra that I bought. They might not take that back, but it was on clearance anyway, so that's okay. Although I'm not planning to be nursing for a while. And I might keep it though. Anyway, Billy and I met, and I gave him a couple of my pumpkins from my garden and all the yuccas. I cut some new ones, and I gave him the ones that I had bought that were left over. And so Bonnie's going to be making one of those. So we exchanged all this. We hugged and said our goodbyes, and he left, and I went shopping for a couple hours. So I was pretty much out quite a bit of the day yesterday. That's why I need the me day today. Since I met Billy in front of Ross, and it was just before 10 o'clock, and I realized they'd been open for an hour, I thought I would just pop in. Well, I will show you what I got at Ross. I did take some video of Walmart while I was there for you to see. You know, it was so crowded, and almost every salesperson had a cart with big boxes, and they were unloading new fall merchandise. And I could hardly move with all the new things coming in. So if it's this way in your neck of the woods, maybe California's a little later with the fall stuff, but I did show some great stuff. I am debating one black quilted jacket that I thought was so much like a Chanel jacket. I might get it. I don't know whether I'd even wear it here, but it was beautiful. Did your mother tell you that the only way to open up an English muffin is with a fork going all the way around? And the reason you do that is that you preserve all the nooks and crannies inside. Never cut an English muffin open. Look at those nooks and crannies. Never cut an English muffin open with a knife. Always open it with a fork slowly. Wise words from my mother. How about your moms? Did they tell you that too? Now I'm gonna put this in a little while and have it ready, and I'll serve this just with butter, maybe a little jam on one, some of Bonnie's huckleberry jam from Idaho, and that I'll serve, and he'll have a lovely breakfast. So I'm gonna get his coffee ready. See you in a few. Can you see them? Let me turn them this way. Don't they look good? They're done, and it looks like the yolk and the whites are all done. This is Bonnie's huckleberry jam that she picks her own huckleberries up in the woods where the bears are, I've told you, up there. And it says Bear Hollow Inn and Vineyards huckleberry jam. And on the bottom it said for Moosey, huckleberry jam that she makes and picks her own huckleberries in the woods where they keep the secret patches. They don't tell each other, but she had a friend that told her where this one patch was. I have Moosey's coffee, his English muffins, and I have some of Bonnie's huckleberry jam ready to go. Now let's see how easy these come out. Perfect, ladies. No trouble getting these out. They stay hard like a little cupcake. Oh, I can't believe this. Woo, a success. Now let me show you this. Is that a lovely breakfast or what? Came out just great. And they're nice and hard. See how they are on the sides? Isn't that beautiful? So that's your quick and easy egg and ham in a little muffin tin with some basil on the side. You'll love it. What do you think?
You know, that's like a work of art.
Isn't it?
Where did you get that recipe?
From Debbie. She and Barry had it this summer up in a B&B up in either Washington or Oregon on the coast. Really? And they raved about it, and she has made it several times since.
How do you eat it?
I don't know. How do you want to eat it?
I don't know. I think I'm going to try dipping this.
Oh, really? Do you see the little bit of basil there, too?
Yeah.
Let me get, isn't that beautiful, ladies? Ooh. Well, I won't. I'll let Moosey enjoy it any way he wants. And if you want to pick that up and pop it in, you go ahead, okay?
Okay.
Love you.
Thank you.
I wanted to show you my little haul from Ross yesterday. And I don't think they all go together. But first of all, I'll show you my shoes. Remember, I talked about trying to find the loafers, black loafers, but I wanted a pointy toe, more of a dressy loafer, but I wanted the big fat chain. Well, I found these in Ross. The ones that are in Marshall's I felt were very clunky. Now these shoes are a little on the clunky side, a lot on the clunky side. And I don't know whether they'll go with this outfit that I'm going to show you. It's just a sweater, but it does go with the bag. So let me show you the bag now. You know, Ross is a great place. It's hit or miss. You can go crazy and find fabulous things. These shoes were $19.95, and this is a BB bag with the quilted look. It's the style I like right now, which is over the shoulder. It can also be carried as a handbag, and you can put the chain away, but it's also crossbody, which I love. And right now I'm into the chains. I also got a slippy chain belt, and I don't think that goes with this sweater, but it will go with a sporty outfit with the shoes, maybe the belt. Maybe too muchy chains, but I just love them. The bag was $19.99, and they had it in a taupe color too, which I also loved. So let me show you this sweater. I think the sweater was also $12.99. Ross is fabulous for prices. If you can find what you're looking for, or you don't have to be looking for anything. If it just hits your eye, boom, it's a reasonable price. Now this sweater is a lovely knit, and it's warm, which is not for today, but it's a V-neck and it has beautiful rhinestone buttons down the front. Now there's a story about these rhinestone buttons. It's a short sweater with a little peplum on it. I still have my working pants on, so I don't have a whole outfit to show you. But these rhinestone buttons I love, and I love buttons up a sleeve. Well, when we lived in Scotland, I had a gabardine evening trench coat, and it had a belt around it. Of course, I was 117 pounds in those days. It had a big wide belt with a beautiful big rhinestone round buckle in the front. And down the front of this trench coat, it was in the style, but it was a nice tightly fitting trench coat. It was long, kind of midi length or maxi length. And this was back in the late 60s, early 70s. And it had rhinestone buttons all down the front. It was, as I say, an evening trench coat style, an evening coat, which I wore all over London and Scotland when we would go out in the evenings. And these buttons were exactly like the ones, can you see? They're beautiful. About the same size. I think the ones on the trench coat might have been a little more expensive and a little bit rounder. But when it was time, and I don't know when that time was, that I had to get rid of the trench coat, and I don't know why I did. Must have been a purge moment that I regret. Or maybe it was just it didn't fit me anymore as the years went on. But I took the buttons off the trench coat because they were so beautiful. And by the way, they were double-breasted buttons. So I have probably about 8. And I'm going to put the 4 on each side up the sleeve. I love that look. I have another black sweater that I think they're gold buttons, and they go all the way up the sleeve, tiny. I love that look. I think they might have them on the shoulders too. So that's my haul from Ross for the day. I love these separates, the jacket and the pants, quilted, puffy sleeves. However, $26.98 a piece. I remember when Walmart would sell both for that. Did love those. I had picked out a very pretty camel's hair sweater with a hood, but I thought as I looked at it with a matching skirt that they looked a little bit cheap, especially the skirt, and I put them back. I didn't get them. Now the aisles were so crowded, and they were bringing merchandise in by the bunches. I thought this plaid shirt was darling. They had long dresses that were just absolutely great looking. All kinds of things you wouldn't believe. However, it was tired for me pushing my thing around. I had 2 big things of water in there. I love this white hat and also these sets. These were fleece pants and cute tops, separates once again. And those were in various different colors, in a camel color and in an olive color. Those were cute. But what do you think of these faux leather dresses? I couldn't believe these. Olive black long dresses with long sleeves, and one of them was a sleeveless jumper of some kind, long jumper dress. But then I saw the clearance sign, and I knew why they weren't selling. Since we're in the kitchen, I thought we might as well look at a little bit of the kitchen that's presentable anyway. Trying to get dishes done again today. Some of my copper collection. And then over here, another window. I love these headers over all the windows. They're great for signs and things. And then more of my blue and white. And then my spice rack. Big spice rack, which I love. Blue and white. Here's 2 little cups from a Christmas market. In 1999, we went over to Europe, to Germany and London at Christmas time. Went to pick up Colleen, who was in school at the time in England, and we went to all the Christmas markets and had the clue line. 2 tiny windows with a little stuff. There's something on every shelf, as Mo says around here. I did fill up my vegetable bin. I did get some bananas and onions, and normally I was having, ooh, that one's ready to go. I think I'll have that today, that one. I normally have been having avocados at least 3 or 4 times a week, maybe for breakfast. As you know, I'm not too big a breakfast person, but they've been so expensive, I haven't been buying them. But I did get a couple this week. And of course, my sweet onions. And we're going to have one of those maybe tomorrow night. The sweet potato and the corn. Corn is starting to die out. It doesn't look so good. I already shucked them. Part of my little collections in my kitchen, these were wedding presents. My milk glass, I had a lot of it, but I give a lot of that to Margie. I loved milk glass in 1960. I still do. And this is the cookbook that we got as a wedding present. Somebody asked me if I knew how to cook when we got married. Look at it, the binder has fallen off. No, I didn't. I knew how to, I think, broil or bake a chicken, and that was about it. But I had a couple of great cookbooks, and I learned. There's part of my secret recipes, and these are Moosey's cereals. He has 3 cereals he likes, and we rotate them. And then, unfortunately, I don't have storage for a lot of my canned goods, and that stays there. I'm thinking of making a little skirt or something there. So that's part of my kitchen you don't see. And then there's a counter on the other side with the machines that I'm not loving. And these cabinets, actually this was painted a dark brown, and I did that faux painting. You see my grains in the wood there? I'm so proud of this piece. I bought this at a thrift store for I think $30. It was painted a horrible brown color. And I did that fake grains with the tool. I love these grains. Look at those grains that I made. It looks like oak, doesn't it? Or pine. And then I opaqued the glass in both the pantries and bought those cute little signs, and I put those on, so now you don't see everything that's in there. But I'm very proud of that cabinet. I still haven't finished the bottom part. So that's a little bit of the kitchen that you see, parts of it you see, and other parts you don't. This is my baking counter, or my filming counter as well. I have storage down in there, and it's on rollers, which is great because I can roll it around the kitchen to be able to see it goes back and forth, to be able to get into some of the cupboards back there. But I love my pantries. And then up there on top are part of my collections from England, and a lot of the tchotchkes that I have to find some of the families that like this stuff and then start dividing it up. Love my Dyson. Mikey gave us this a couple years ago for Christmas, and I love it. Doesn't do too awfully long. Holds a charge for about 25 minutes maybe, but enough to get the cottage done, and enough for me anyway. Well, that's it for the day. I'm sure tomorrow will bring something else. You never know from day to day. But every once in a while, you need a little time off. We've had such a great time all week. But, you know, at this age, as we mature, our energy level goes down. I'm eating some watermelon, which I love. So, that's sort of my drinking, too. You get so much water in a watermelon. So, I want to thank you so much for all your comments. I know that you enjoyed watching all our activities this week with family, and it was a full week, that's for sure. And we enjoyed every minute of it. But you know, when you have interludes like that in your simple daily life, like Moose and I live a pretty simple life here at our tiny little adobe cottage. And after something like that, you need some downtime. My battery just died. I guess we have been chatting for a while. I love the puffy sleeves on this jacket. As I was saying, Moosey and I have been falling asleep after supper, waking up at 1, and then being up for a while, watching Netflix or looking. It's been a crazy sleeping session for us. So we have to get back to our normal hours of sleep. Normal is crazy for me, but that's okay. So thank you so much for all your lovely comments about our family, about Cindy. Yes, she is beautiful and a love, and I love her dearly. And we all have so much fun together. And I just got a little text from Colleen just a few minutes ago. It's about 2 in the afternoon, 2:30, and she said, Mom, you know, she is suffering empty nest about her boy, Brendan, who has gone away to school. And every time I talked to her last week, when she tries to tell me about how happy Brendan is, and she's so happy for him, he sends these happy pictures. She said, oh, I'm so happy for him. I miss him so. I know what she's going through. I had that empty nest, especially with her. She was my youngest of 6 when she went away to college, but I was right there in the same town, but it still was bad. I know you all know that feeling of a child going off to school or getting married or something. We're happy for them, but it's tough. So she just texted me a little while ago. She said, Shannon is going to a friend's house after high school. And of course, Ryan is in an apartment going to college. And Mike is going to work. Would you like to come up and spend some time with me? And of course, I jumped at that. I just love it. So I'm going to have some cozy mommy time. Good.
Oh, doggy time.
Come on. Oh, God.
You asked for it.
I asked for it. So thank you so much for enjoying our videos, for loving us, and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Join me again in a couple of days for another video. Don't know what it's going to be, but hopefully it'll be fun. Goodbye for now. God bless us all.
Hello. Do you feel well? How you feeling? I love you. I hear you purring. Oh, are you sleepy? I hope you're feeling okay.